I like the fact that we're much better today than we were yesterday. You know, we're talking about doing a couple different things together.
All right, so Kevin Hart recently did an interview where he was talking about squashing the beef with Katt Williams. Y'all remember they got into a little back and forth after the Katt Williams interview with Shannon Sharp. And Kevin also talked about working with Mike Epps too. Let's check this out. Make sure y'all like the video and subscribe. Let's get it.
There's also been, you know, some friction as well with other comedians, right? Like there's always a little bit of tension between you and others. How do you look at the sort of comedian brotherhood today, especially as someone who's kind of sitting on the mountaintop as far as
it's better, man.
Yeah.
We got older. We all got older, and I think our conversations have gotten better.
Okay.
Right? Like you know, me, Mike, me, Katt. There was always a little ruffle in the water for quite some time, but you know, picking up the phone does a lot.
Yeah.
Having direct conversations and removing the middlemen does a lot. And I think as we got older, we got better at it. And I don't think the respect level was ever the thing. It was about
competition.
Not necessarily competition. I think it was more about the idea of what we felt or possibly felt that we should be doing together and that we weren't. And because we weren't, assumptions are made and feelings are developed and animosity comes in, and through the long, you know, gated timeline, then it just becomes, well, you're not fucking with me, I'm not fucking with you. But I think now we understand that we have a job to do, and you know, that job is to be better examples, right?
Yeah.
So mending whatever the problems were in our days of old and allowing this generation to see like we're not afraid to do that, you know, alleviates the future world of conflict for them.
Of course.
So I like that. I like the fact that we're much better today than we were yesterday. You know, we're talking about doing a couple different things together. We got some great ideation happening about how we can shake shit up for the culture and give the culture something that they desperately deserve. And that's finding a way for us all to share the screen together. Like, that's one thing that we don't have that frustrates me. You know, when you think about Harlem Nights, they all had that thing together. Like, whether you choose to realize it or not, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Charlie Murphy, Robin Harris,
Red Fox,
like, you know, the only person missing from that, regardless of their actions in life after, Cosby, right? Like in some
at that time,
right? And for whatever reason, it was because of whatever the differences were back then, that they weren't all collabing and fucking with each other at the level that they should. But imagine a Cosby integration at that time, and we had something to go, oh my God, all of them in that. And Living Color is the closest thing that we have. When you think about all of those crazy talented conglomerates that shared that thing.
Of course.
You can revert back to that and go, oh, this is when they did. We don't have that. I would love to see that table kind of broaden a little bit. And I would love to see us all at the fucking table and put all of our differences aside, you know, male and female, because we all have had our own share of shit. But if we find a way to do that, and everybody understands that the valuable of the win of one piece of IP that we all share some type of participation in, game changing.
Hey, Kevin, don't hype me up. Don't be in here talking about Harlem Nights. A project like that with Kevin Hart, Mike Epps, Katt Williams. Could we get Dave Chappelle? Could we get Steve Harvey? Could we get Cedric the Entertainer? And I know, unfortunately, you know, some of these individuals, I don't know how they feeling about Katt Williams, but yeah, that was a moment with Harlem Nights. And yeah, I never even thought about it would have been dope to see Bill Cosby in that. But when Kevin said that, it just made me think about so much. I guess in my mind, I was so used to seeing Bill Cosby kind of doing his own thing, kind of working with Sidney Poitier and guys like that. But yeah, that would have been dope to see him in that movie. And it is so many great comedians of, let's say, the newer generation, the 90s to early 2000s to where we're at now, that I would love to see a lot of these guys work together. Unfortunately, we lost Bernie Mac, and I just wonder what Bernie Mac will say about all of this beef with the comedians. Like, I don't know, like y'all tell me if I'm tripping. I feel like if Bernie Mac was still alive, he would be the person to squash a lot of this stuff. And I just wonder what Bernie Mac would have said about Katt Williams' interview and stuff like that. Bernie was a real one. But I just feel like he was one of them dudes who knows the part that somebody like a Bernie Mac played in keeping the kings of comedy together. When you bring in a lot of egos together, and maybe I'm just making a lot of assumptions. You know, maybe Bernie Mac, you know, might have been hard to work with. Maybe it was Steve Harvey that kept the kings of comedy together, got them all together and on one accord. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the comedy scene would feel different if Bernie Mac was still alive. I could be just talking, but I want to know what y'all got to say about that. But also I want to say this. When Kevin was talking about the reasons why he had this issue with, I want to say specifically Katt Williams. I don't know a lot about a beef with Mike Epps, if it was one. Y'all tell me in the comments. I guess I can do some research. But when we listen to Katt Williams' interview, I think his issue with a lot of comedians is how they work, how they handle certain things, stealing jokes. But also, I think what he feels like certain people stand for and how they go about the business of, you know, being a comedian and being an entertainer. I think he looked at Kevin Hart a certain type of way where you know the things that black people say about Kevin Hart. And, you know, I can't sugarcoat it. I think Katt Williams felt about Kevin Hart the same way a lot of fans feel about Kevin Hart. Some people feel like he kind of got whitewashed after, I want to say, his first couple of stand-up specials. Some people feel like, you know, he leaned into the business of comedy and he became less funny. And I remember watching him on Kai Cenat's stream. Y'all know Kai Cenat. And I was like, oh my God, Kevin Hart is so damn funny. I haven't seen this Kevin in so long. And I feel like it was an opportunity for him to just relax and not worry about, you know, this movie that I'm doing or this audience that I'm trying to appeal to. Obviously, I think he was trying to appeal to the younger audience, but damn, seeing him on Kai Cenat, I was like, wow, this is the Kevin Hart I miss. This is the Kevin Hart from the first two specials when he was talking about his kids and all that other stuff. And a lot of people feel like once Kevin Hart got rich, once he got a little bit more into the Hollywood scene, his comedy changed. And I think to somebody like Katt Williams, he looks at that a certain type of way. Almost like certain people might be sellouts. Or as he said, going through that back door. And so, yeah, maybe a conversation needed to be had, but I think Kevin Hart, he hit on a lot of important points as well, because that middleman, that third party guy that a lot of these celebrities talk through, I think that also causes a lot of animosity and unnecessary issues, because people aren't talking directly to each other, but they talking to somebody's manager or you know, somebody's assistant or whatever. And now you got this whole other third party. And then you have to worry about how they feel about an individual or how they choosing to do their job, how they're talking to somebody, how they're making your request sound. Like some people might be trying to reach out to each other, but they're using a third party, they're using a manager. And now somebody's offended because they feel like somebody is trying to disrespect the other one, and it could all be a misunderstanding. And so regardless, I hope to see a big project with a lot of our, favorite comedians from, I want to say, the past few decades, and we'll see. But I want to know what y'all think about this. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.